You will need a piece of plywood, a piece of plastic, painter's plastic is fine, and a piece of canvas. The other ingredients that you will need are methyl cellulose, which is wallpaper paste. It can be found in powder form. Mix that into water, cold water. Add the powder gradually while stirring. This will make a viscous liquid, a gel, but you need to give it a bit of time. So put that aside while the powder swells, and it will make a gel. You will also need some acrylic primer. That's a clear acrylic liquid. And you will need sand, clean silica sand, a container to mix the sand and the other ingredients together. Stretch the canvas by stapling it to the plywood panel. You can start with the centers of each side and then proceed putting staples on either side of those central staples as you move out towards the corners. Place the staples about 3 or 4 centimeters apart. When the canvas is stretched, you can apply the acrylic primer. You can evaluate whether the acrylic needs to be diluted. This one is particularly thick, so I'm going to dilute that about 50%. The instructions for dilution are usually on the container. Apply the acrylic primer to the canvas. Make sure that it soaks in well to all parts of the canvas. Pour some sand into the container for mixing. Add your acrylic primer to the sand. This is the same acrylic primer that you applied to the surface of the canvas. Add enough acrylic primer to thoroughly wet the sand. Think of it as coating every grain of sand with an acrylic glue, because this is the glue that will keep everything adhered to the canvas. Next, add your methyl cellulose wallpaper paste that has had time to turn into a gel. As far as quantity goes, you can add less than the acrylic. The purpose of this material is that it acts like a vehicle to help you to spread your sand evenly on the surface of the canvas. So go ahead and apply some to the canvas. You'll need a trowel. I start by distributing it and making sure it reaches every part of the canvas. Then I start with the smoothing, and you'll notice the angle of the trowel, and I'm cleaning the trowel after every pass. What I'm going for is the thickness of 1 grain of sand evenly across the whole surface. Then you need to put that canvas out to dry. I'm now applying a base coat of paint on the dry canvas. You can choose any color you want, of course. A latex wall paint or a paint for external use is fine. Then put it to dry again. Once it's dry, remove all the staples. You can do that with a screwdriver or maybe a pair of pliers to help. I'm just dusting off some of the sand that came loose from around the edges. Now you can take your canvas off the board. Interesting to notice how the plastic has adhered to the canvas somewhat, but that's not a problem. It did its job in preventing the canvas from adhering to the board. So notice that the finished canvas is very flexible. I can roll it up and unroll it again. There are no problems, no cracks in the surface. So there you go, a flexible, portable, textural wall surface suitable for trompe l'oeil painting.